everyone, welcome once again to Gotham Discussions. I'm Captain Logan.
I'm Steve Baxi.
Today, Steve and I are talking about the 14th episode of Gotham. Can you believe this show's been on already? 14 episodes, my goodness.
Really?
The fearsome Dr. Crane. And let's just jump straight into it, Steve. How'd you feel about the fearsome... Was Dr. Crane sufficiently fearsome enough for you, Steve? Go ahead.
So I liked last week's episode, and this episode, I felt like it showed its hand a little bit too early. Like,
on what?
There was an idea here. There was something really potentially interesting when we got this unnamed guy who's just Todd, and he's going around and he's doing these fear experiments, and we keep thinking that's Dr. Crane, that's Dr. Crane. Halfway through it, we see he has a kid named Jonathan.
Yeah.
And then that kind of soils it. But if we got to the end of this episode, or maybe the next episode, because it's a two-parter, and we found out Jonathan's the mastermind behind all of this in the first place, it could have been potentially really interesting.
Yeah.
And that's still possibly where it's going, as far as I've read with interviews. It's just the fact that we know that now hurts it a bit. But I mean, it's partly because it could have been a really cool reveal. The guy that they got to play Crane's dad is great.
He's great.
If it was a present-day live-action movie, he's Scarecrow. He's perfect. He's really good. And I mean, I like the idea. I like how weird and arbitrary some of his choices are, and that he's taking out the fear gland and he's testing people to their limits. And I think it's a really cool idea. I like that it's not just he's crazy to save the city. He's just curious. He's doing experiments. He's a scientist.
Although
I
will say that that's what it seems like they're pointing to. But I think they're keeping it ambiguous enough that we don't 100% understand his motivations yet.
Yeah, and that's true, and that's part of why, like, it did show its hand a bit too early that there is something crazier behind this, and I wish that was more of a reveal. If we were more concrete in that this is not what we think it is, and then we get the reveal of Jonathan being behind all of it, I think that would have been really cool.
Well, hey, I'm going to go this far. I don't think they, and honestly, and it's been a few days since I've watched this, so maybe I just didn't pick up on it. I didn't think that we could be 100% sure that that's exactly what's going on. But that Jonathan's behind the whole thing. Clearly he's involved, but where are you getting Jonathan's behind the whole thing?
Well, they've talked about it in interviews, so I mean, they kind of spoiled that Jonathan's the mastermind behind this.
Okay, see, this is why I'm careful to not keep up with too much production stuff. But I don't think you can get that from the episode, can you?
Not really.
Okay, okay.
There's a bit of it. They have that exchange, and it makes me wonder who the boss is, but it's probably... It's hard to say. It's been a couple days since I've seen it too.
It made me wonder too, but I wasn't making the leap saying, "Oh, he's behind it yet." I'm just saying.
Yeah, that's true.
So, just in case people are wondering where you're getting that from, I haven't kept up with production stuff. So,
okay, yeah, that's true. Yeah, maybe that's informing it a bit too much. But even so, I think just the potential mystery of it is interesting enough.
Well, hey, I'll say this: I wouldn't have called it this. I think the show has had that problem pretty hard. And like, if you're just watching this on TV and you're not doing a show on it like we are, and you're not like looking at it on Hulu or whatever, you wouldn't know what the episode title is. So who cares? But like they did this with the first episode with Harvey Dent too. Why is Crane's name in the title? He's not. Is he even called Dr. Crane anywhere in the episode?
No, they don't. They just keep calling him Todd.
See, I thought it would be. I'm with you in saying that it would have been cool if it was a reveal that it's Crane. You know what I mean? Like, just don't.
Yeah, that's true.
Don't put that in the episode title.
Crane from the beginning, and we just didn't reveal his name was something else, and that he was his dad. It could have still been pretty cool.
Yeah. So anyway, I don't know.
Yeah, and it's strange. It almost feels like they fired the gun a little bit too quickly, or they didn't completely think through that mystery. But overall, the episode's kind of neutral. There's some fun stuff with Harvey potentially having a crush, and that scene where he's talking about he has a fear of dying alone in an alley and no one knowing his name was really good. Mm-hmm. Some of the stuff with Gordon and Leslie, as always, is forced, and I don't really like where that relationship's going, but I like their chemistry okay.
I don't agree with you. What's forced about it?
No, as in, like, the leap to the fact that they have a relationship already still isn't working.
Nope.
And then that scene at the end where she forces him to kiss him in front of the whole precinct, I really didn't like that.
Here's the thing. I didn't like that it had to be in front of everybody. I think that is... She clearly does not understand how Gotham works. Because if I were in Gordon's position, I would not want every cop in the precinct to know who I'm dating.
Yeah, that's true.
Remember last episode when we had a cop that was bumping people off? And remember how Gordon has been a target a lot and that he keeps painting a bullseye on his back and that he keeps trying to change everything, and there's probably a lot of cops that want the status quo to stay the way it is. The last thing on earth you want is you got to be a vigilante about it. You don't want these people to know who you're dating. So no, that was dumb. But if the kiss from a couple episodes ago, that stupid kiss that we hated in the locker room, hadn't happened, everything that happens in this episode with those two, I think, is fine, except for kissing in front of the precinct.
Okay, yeah,
because
I agree with that.
I don't think it's a sudden. I don't think it's a sudden relationship like you said it was. She comes back and it's not because they kissed. They just like each other. I don't think that kiss was completely. I mean, it doesn't matter. It was, yeah. It's a mulligan. It doesn't matter.
Thing, though, because we don't know anything about her, do we?
Not much, no.
Like, she doesn't really have a character aside from having good chemistry with Gordon.
Not yet.
And I think it's rushed in that regard. So now that they're in a relationship, she is just a plot device to get us there. And I like the actress. I like the scenes they have together. But it's rushed to the sense that people don't just enter relationships that quickly. And it's really hard to buy that. It's really hard to buy that they see anything in each other aside from the chemistry that we see, and there's no character place for it.
I don't agree with you. I like they're just a couple of people that are attracted to each other that are starting out in a relationship that's not serious yet.
What does he like about her? That she's cute?
That's enough to start dating a person a lot of the time, is it not? I mean, like...
Yeah, that's fine, and they started with the kiss, but at this point we need something more than he thinks she's cute.
See, all I'm saying is if that kiss hadn't happened, I think that this seems like a kind of logical progression where they're attracted to each other and they're feeling each other out and just starting to maybe have a relationship. It's not serious yet. Again, the stupid kiss in front of the precinct. Stop writing kisses in this show, okay? Quit. I'm with you. I want to know more about her. I want her to be more fleshed out too. I get that. But compare it to the Barbara thing, and he has much more of a reason to date this person.
Okay, that's fair. And I mean, if you were dating Barbara, then you have more reason to date Bullock at that point. But...
Yeah, I mean, okay, do they have things in... Yes, they're not spelling stuff out about it yet. Do they have to if it's clear enough? No. Is it clear enough? I don't know. Let's dissect it for a second. Shall we? Okay, so, what do they have in common? They both spent some time at Arkham, and we didn't see much of their relationship together there. They seem to have... I don't remember. Did they know each other besides the first time we saw them? Had they actually interacted before?
No.
Okay.
The first time they met
All
was
right.
after
was the first time they
was
met.
assigned to investigate that incident.
Okay. All right. So there's that. So I don't know. They have that crazy job in common. They both seem to be a lot more optimistic than most of the people in that city. They both kind of have a little bit of a silver lining mentality, I would say. They're both not corrupt people that do their jobs well. No, it's surface, it's superficial so far. But I'm just saying that besides the whole stupid, like, passionate kiss that came out of nowhere in that locker room, I don't know that there's not that just we're attracted, let's explore isn't enough. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, that's okay. That's fair. It's that I can't get rid of the locker room kiss though, because then it just feels like she kisses anyone that she finds mildly interesting, and then she gets really pushy about it in this episode. These
people can't write relationship dramas. They think they're on the CW and they're on Fox, and I don't know what that's about.
Yeah, I mean, it's not bad enough that I have a huge problem with it. It's just it could be better.
It could be better.
It's still an enjoyable episode. I still think these last couple episodes have been better than what we've gotten for weeks. We haven't mentioned this yet, but the Maroni Penguin stuff I like.
I
love that scene where they're in the cabin and they're playing that game of Tell Us a Secret.
That's great. There's a lot of tension to that scene. My only big problem with it, and I've had this with a lot of episodes, right, is should have happened episodes ago.
Yeah.
Should have happened a lot of episodes ago. There's no reason that Maroni should have bought into anything Penguin was selling the last few episodes. With that whole... I still think it's inexcusable that when Penguin accidentally, and this was so weirdly written, accidentally wakes up and says he's got a date with Falcone, that Maroni didn't send anybody to follow him. I don't buy that. And the fact that Fish had to call him before he started thinking more seriously about it. Yeah, so we have stretched this out just because this was the episode where we wanted that to happen, not because we naturally got it there now. It could have been done because it could have been done well because Penguin is supposed to be really good at keeping secrets and manipulating people and keeping people from knowing stuff. I still like that Penguin makes mistakes. That's the thing I really like about this character. That he's really good at improvising and he's quick on his feet. And the thing in the car is hilarious. I mean, we are back to the dark comedy that I loved about the series so much that I feel like we've kind of lost a little bit. And that thing in the car where he's still begging for his life, calling Maroni on his cell phone while he's being crushed to death. Oh, I love that. It's fantastic. Yeah, and then he calls the crane operator and scares him away because Falcone will kill his family. That's hilarious. In a way, that too, Steve, is a fearsome crane. Coincidence? I think not. Oh. Sorry.
I think these last couple episodes have sort of salvaged the series for me. I trust a little bit more now than I did a few weeks ago when we were doing ridiculous things with Falcone. Yeah. And what he knows and what he doesn't know. At the very least, now it's enjoyable. There's lines of dialogue, there's exchanges that are fun to watch. Sure. The acting is building the characters for us, and a lot of times that's okay, a lot of times it's a problem. In this show, it's sort of in the middle.
Right now, but you got to remember that we have not gotten back to the Falcone stuff yet, and where they left us, I'm just saying that I don't know that I trust it anymore yet. I can only go as far as to say that I enjoyed this episode quite a bit, and that I am really intrigued by the Scarecrow stuff, and that I would have enjoyed the Penguin stuff a lot more if it had happened in an earlier episode. I enjoyed it a lot here. I'm just saying that that is still hurting the credibility of a narrative that's acting like it's smarter than it really is. The Edward Nygma stuff is not working for me.
I forgot about that. No, that's not great.
When we get to the end and he's been booted, which I don't know how he didn't get booted forever ago, but when he gets booted for constantly messing around with dead bodies, which I think is really funny, that he's just so curious, and this is an episode about curiosity, right? That's kind of cool. It's about fear and curiosity, and the relationship between those two things. Okay, that's cool. We get to the end, and the only reason that Nygma gets to be brought back into the precinct is because he set that guy up to the medical examiner guy to get fired. Okay, so the medical guy gets fired. That is a completely unrelated incident to what got Nygma booted. Also, I don't understand how that gets him. What am I missing?
Well, I think it's that they only have Nygma and the medical examiner, so if they're both gone, they have no one to check evidence.
That's dumb.
Yeah.
You can't, I mean, they bring cops in from other cities. That's dumb.
Yeah.
There are only two people.
It gives us the convenience to have Leslie work there.
Yeah, but I don't know. But that's not how they play. They didn't play it like it was desperation. They played it like somehow the medical examiner having done a horrible thing, with the what was it, like a body part they found?
Yeah, there was a whole bunch of dead body parts, and they said that he stole them.
Yeah. Okay, well, they played it like somehow that vindicated Nygma. That's how I read it. Was that like somehow Nygma didn't do anything wrong because this guy did something a lot wronger. I don't understand that. That's how it played.
That was strange.
That's how it played for me. If anybody's got a better read on it, leave a comment. I don't know. That's how it read to me. That's, I don't know. That was weird.
Yeah, the guy that plays the Riddler I really like, but every time they give him something to do, it's just weird and awkward for the sake of being weird and awkward. It doesn't necessarily make any sense.
I'm with you. They're slowly trying to progress that girl that he's hitting on to like him more. I don't know why she's liking him. I do like her performance a lot. I think she's trying to play like maybe she is just as disturbed as he is, and we just haven't seen her home life yet. And
it's a little Harley Quinn-esque. Yeah.
I am predicting that there's going to be something there, because she seems potentially also, if not unhinged, a little bit out there. You know what I mean? A little bit detached herself, maybe. So we'll see. Hey, real quick, why don't we go ahead and go to quotes and stuff? Actually, did you give us a worst moment?
Worst moment was I think it was the kiss in front of everybody, the public kiss that Leslie made him do.
That's fair. You know, frankly, we didn't even straight up do best moments, so we'll do that too. For me, it's that car crush scene. I think that's fantastic.
Yeah, mine's the Maroni penguin playing the game in the cabin. I thought that was amazing.
That was my second. Really liked that. Okay, my worst moment is Ed just getting reinstated. I'm hoping I missed something. That bothered me. Also, here's a minor one. Is there some reason that Jim had to leave his apartment just because he was working at Arkham? They play it like he moved out or something?
Yeah, it's weird. And why does he have that house? I'm confused. If that's Barbara's house, and they're no longer seeing each other enough for him to date another girl.
Yeah.
What's the state of that house? Does he own it partly?
Well, it's a penthouse apartment, so we don't know if they're renting or how that works, but...
Yeah, that's just weird. And then he constantly calls to Barbara when he gets back.
I don't understand. He keeps doing that. Every time he walks in, he's like Barbara, and it's like a routine thing, and they're just not communicating intention very well in the script or the directing. I don't understand what's going on there.
Yeah. And also we didn't mention the Bruce and Gordon stuff, but I did like that quite a bit.
It was okay. I got to see where it's going, because it reads potentially like trying to stall stuff out to keep dragging things along a little bit. Where like you know, because Gordon investigating Bruce Wayne's parents' murder is a huge obviously you know, departure from the background of the comics. Now I find myself wondering if this isn't some kind of like excuse to try to get us closer to some sort of status quo of what what you know, Batman's background is. It's too early to say. I don't know what we're doing with that. I like that Bruce is kind of starting to go it alone more, and we're obviously going to push him more in a direction of, you know, starting to get hardened and become what he would have to become to be Batman, I guess.
Yeah, and it's all fueled by him wanting to investigate. So I think that base is pretty cool. Moving forward, if he released Gordon for the Promise like he did, and it's just Bruce uncovering more of the mystery, I think it does ultimately work. And then Gordon would still have to fight the city the way he wants to, but there might even be a bit of an antagonistic thing going of, is Gordon's methods getting in the way of what Bruce wants to find out? Well,
I guess the question is, what was the point of having Gordon investigate that if they were just going to ultimately have him go, you know what, you haven't actually been working on that, dude. You know what I mean? Like I don't see a clear direction for that. And so I'm just waiting to find out what it is.
Bruce didn't think he had the means or the ability to do it before. And then we slowly grew him into being an obsessed guy. And so now he feels he can do it by himself. And that he's been forced to be alone.
I need to give it another watch before I can be confident that that's really what they're doing.
Because I don't know. I feel like they've been doing that since we got the Cap thing, since Alfred's taught him how to fight, since he's been running around the city being chased by an assassin.
No, that's fine with Bruce.
Trying to be more independent.
That's fine. I'm more worried about the Gordon thing. Why hasn't Gordon been working harder on that case?
Yeah, well, he has though. Because he's been hitting up Falcone the whole series, but then he got shifted to Arkham for doing it.
Oh, that's right. Okay. Well, part of the problem is that, again, we just, watch a million things, and this is an ongoing story, and I've not gone back and rewatched it. Okay, fine. Whatever. We'll see where that stuff goes. Quotes. I had a lot of quotes for this episode. I thought this was a pretty good script for narrative. Sorry, I'm tired. For dialogue writing. I love Maroni. A bird in the hand is 9/10 of the law. And then Penguin's expression is priceless.
Oh, it's perfect. I was laughing for minutes after seeing that. It was great.
That was fantastic. Bullock, I don't start drinking until noon. The only good thing anyone can say about Barbara comes from Selena when she says she's got some really nice stuff. I liked just the line delivery of Maroney's "I'm deceptively quick for a big guy."
Yeah,
that was just really well. Yeah, I liked that a lot.
Yeah, that's just a great actor. So
the Cranes have a scale for fear.
Yeah,
that's cool. That's cool.
Yeah, I love that. I find their version of Scarecrow, even though we don't know much about him, the fact that he's just studying fear all to start off, the guy that they got to playing his dad, I think all that's already interesting, and then we're not doing yet the straight up, he looks like a scarecrow, so he forced himself into being one.
Yeah. Well, and I'm assuming that this is the origin of the fear toxin.
Yeah, it seems like it. It's hard to say because he injects them with something that makes them afraid.
But that's not
what I don't know what.
But that's not what I mean. He's trying to figure out like he's stealing stuff like the fear, like the gland that the fear gland. I think he's probably trying to develop fear toxin.
Yeah, maybe. That'd be interesting, and his motivation behind that would also be interesting if they play it off well.
Yeah, we'll see. I just I thought that was really cool. Do you have a trivia question?
I do. In the comics, in Scarecrow Year 1, what do they reveal that Jonathan Crane is afraid of?
My question is, what section of Gotham did Maroni offer Falcone episodes back as part of their truce, which was brought up again here in a nice bit of continuity? I was kind of impressed with them for bringing that back. Any other notes you have before we finish off and give the answers to our trivia question, Steve, that we didn't cover?
Just that I wish the show would do more of... let's do territorial mob stuff.
Yes.
Because the moment they try convoluting this stuff into a conspiracy Gordon investigates, it doesn't work. But when we're just hanging out with Penguin and Falcone or Penguin and Maroni, and they're trying to play off of each other and they don't have anything else to juggle, it really works.
Yeah. Less is more in this case. I didn't like the cliffhanger with Fish.
Yeah, I don't know what that's about.
It's just, okay, she's about to fight a guy. Why am I supposed to get... They keep playing it like I'm supposed to care about her well-being for some reason, and
yeah, she's not a well enough developed character for us to care yet. She's just weird.
And they keep doing it with Penguin, and you could say, well, Penguin's morally reprehensible. Why do you care about what happens to him? Because he's fascinating. He's a character study. He's got a really interesting psychology, and it's just really interesting to see people that are great at anything, even if they're horrible people, doing the stuff that they're great at, and that's a rise to power thing. Fish is a cartoon character, and I like her as a cartoon character, but if we keep... I do. I mean, a lot of people don't like that. I think it's fine. But she
I thought it worked earlier in the season, and it doesn't work so much now because we have to keep doing things at the expense of her character.
She has to stay the archetype or the stereotype, right? Like we can't spend too much time with her, and I think they think that she's a character, and she's not a character.
Yeah, and I'm still kind of curious to know what's with her and Bullock, not because it's interesting, but just because it's hanging there now.
Yeah. Well, I don't think here's the thing. I don't think there's necessarily anything to them so much as they were trying to maintain some continuity because they got along well at the beginning. I don't want to read too much into that. I think that's just she and Bullock had a good working relationship, and now Bullock feels bad because I guess he knew her well enough that it's just sad to see her go. But in giving us that, I feel like they gave us that scene because they thought they had to, but in giving us that scene, it makes me feel like I'm supposed to care about her more than I do, because Bullock is a real person.
Yeah, that's true.
So that's maybe a catch-22 that they felt like they couldn't get out of or something. I don't know. But you could be right, and that there's more to that. I think that was kind of just a continuity thing they thought they had to pay off.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of wish we could just write Fish out of the show now, because she lost, right? What more is there to do with that?
Excellent point. I don't know. And that would help us not juggle too many characters. I mean, it makes a lot of sense to have that character that we've never heard of that's kind of running a lot of things, and then, we get... But you're right, she lost. And honestly, we didn't talk about this last time. I think it was last episode. No, it was the previous one, and it was kind of what they left the cliffhanger on. When Penguin takes over her club and walks in, and just the delivery, the emphasis on, hello, Fish. I love the way he did that.
Yeah.
And the reason I love that is because we keep talking about this whole penguin eats fish thing. That would have been the perfect time to just get rid of her.
Yeah, no, that's true. It would work perfectly. And I mean, speaking of juggling too many characters, Detective Allen is still in the main title credits. I have no idea who this person is. It's been 14 episodes and he has no character and no lines.
Well, I don't think he or Montoya's been in the show since the last time we saw Montoya in that. Well, and he wasn't even there. But I mean, like, I don't think even Montoya's been in the show for 4 or 5 episodes.
Yeah, and I mean, even if they had long stints of not being there, at least Montoya's had dialogue. Allen had one line in the pilot. He's still in the credits. Why are we keeping this many characters here?
Yeah, it's a good point. I don't know. And that's one of those really weird things in adaptation where it's like, well, he's a character people have heard of, so we keep bringing him up.
Yeah, maybe. It's just a matter of, like, it'd be one thing if he was a recurring character, but no, he's listed as a main character.
Well, Steve,
that's strange.
Go ahead and give us the answer to your trivia question, and we'll go ahead and end off.
The answer is bats.
I should have guessed, Steve.
It's weird because there's no character in the Batman universe aside from Bruce himself that are afraid of bats, except for maybe Scarecrow, and then they retcon that.
Was he afraid of bats before he fought Batman?
Yes.
Oh, okay, that's cool. That's really interesting.
Scarecrow Year One is really good if you haven't read it.
Do they play it like Begins does, where Bruce is actually afraid of bats, or just where he becomes Batman because he sees a bunch of bats?
Well, it's not Bruce, it's Scarecrow, so...
No, that's not what I mean. That's what I mean. It's inherently interesting if Bruce and Scarecrow are both scared of bats.
Yeah, they do it that way. They do a parallel thing where
that's awesome.
Bruce is afraid of bats because of a childhood incident, just like Batman Begins.
Okay.
And they do a Scarecrow thing of he's afraid of bats for almost the same reason, but he didn't have any kind of, like, bad experience with them. They just terrify him, inherently.
Well, and also, I mean, I haven't read it, but also, I would assume that part of what would be cool about doing that would be he also doesn't have any kind of impetus or motivation to take that fear and channel it in a positive direction, like Batman does.
Yeah, he's got the opposite. So he's got that fear of bats, but they still play up the Jebediah Crane. He looks like a scarecrow. People bully him because of Sleepy Hollow. And so he uses the fact that he's afraid of bats, and people hate him because they don't understand him, and he turns that into, well, people are afraid of what they don't understand. Let's scare everyone. And let's explore people let's exploit people when they're afraid, because that's the best way to get to know them if you can't talk to them.
I gotta read that. Boy, I need to start making more of a list of everything I need to read that Steve brings up. That sounds really fascinating. Well, anyway, excuse me, everybody that's watching this as a separate video, thanks a lot for being here. We sure appreciate it. And we will see you next week with more Gotham discussions. Steve, I'm with you. I'm happier right now, but I'm still trepidatious. I'm a little trepidatious.
Yeah, I think you said this last week, but even when the episodes are bad, we're still looking forward to them week to week. I think now there's a cautious optimism to them every week. I want this two-parter to be really good, and so far it hasn't let me down yet, and I want that to be the trend.
It being a two-parter, I hope that we don't suddenly, like, drop stuff that mattered a lot in this first episode because of the ongoing narrative. Like, I hope the Penguin stuff is still there. I hope Barbara still isn't, but I hope that all the time. So...
Yeah, it's possible that Season 2, because they already got renewed, that Season 2 will be a lot tighter, because it seems like Season 1 is just experimenting and jumping all over the place because they didn't know what was going to sell them. Yeah. And now they feel like they have to maintain that because that's what got them their ratings.
Well,
so Season 2 might have a different direction.
We have been comparing this to 24 the whole time, and 24 had exactly that problem.
Yeah, that's true.
And Season 2 was a great deal better than Season 1 for that series. Yeah. So
that show got progressively better up until about Season 5. So maybe that's what we have here.
Yeah. Well, until Season 5 is his best season, and then 6 was pretty bad. So yeah.
Yeah, and I think there was some production shakeup after that, wasn't there?
I don't know the history on that.
Okay, it's been a while since I've seen all of it too, so we'd have to look into it. But yeah, maybe it's following the 24 format. It still uses 24 music.
Yeah, I was going to say, for those of you that don't know what we're talking about, part of the reason we keep comparing this to 24 is because the theme is almost exactly the same theme as 24, which keeps driving me crazy even now. And it's in, I think, 24's old time slot. I know 24 was on Mondays. I think it's in its old time slot.
I think it is too. It's weird because now every day when I watch this show, I keep expecting Gordon to say, "My name is Jim Gordon. This is the longest day of my life."
and and then Bullock's like, these events occur in real time.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's see, who would be more fun to hear say that? Fish, these events occur in real time.
Maybe Penguin.
Yeah, that'd be good. Well, anyway.
That'd be menacing.
Everybody, thanks a lot. This show in real time actually could work. And you know why it could work?
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm going to say this really quick. We've already said goodbye, but I'm going to say this really quick. It could work because it's juggling way too many freaking characters. That would be the time. Anyway, everybody, thanks a lot for watching. We sure appreciate it on Captain Logan.
I'm Steve Baxi.
And we'll see you again next week.